Hey guys, it's Kayla. Welcome back to my channel. So I have my phone on my little phone stand, but I'm not close enough to a plug-in to use the light, so it kind of sucks. But I was doing an order, which I'm going to do another video about that to explain what I've been doing as a side job recently. But I was in the car driving and I was thinking about this, and so I wanted to make a video on it. I haven't really had a lot of time to do videos lately, just moving and then working all the time. It's just been stressful. So anyways, most of you have watched videos on my channel about um, the health stuff with my husband, and when he had heart surgery and we were in Nashville for 2 months and he needed a valve replacement and dealing with all of that. Most of you have seen those videos, and I can't believe, but it's almost been 2 years. August 22nd will be 2 years, which is crazy to me. But anyways, I wanted to kind of talk about the aftermath of it all, and just living with all of that happening and how it's kind of been for us after all of that happening. So just dealing with, first of all, he was sick in the bed for 3 or 4 days. We thought it was like a virus or something, and went to an ER, and it was the day of the eclipse 2 years ago, and it ended up, we went from just being in the ER thinking, something normal, from it going really quickly downhill, finding out that he needed a valve replacement and him having to be ventilated, being in the ICU, being transferred to a bigger hospital, and then within a few hours being transferred to Vanderbilt, which was 4.5 hours away, and being in that hospital for 2 months straight. Our kids 5 hours away, and just dealing with constant ups and downs of getting better, but this happening, it was just constantly back and forth. And I feel like, I don't know if it's clinically possible to have PTSD from something like this, but I definitely feel like it's something that I'm dealing with. So I'm trying not to forget anything, but it's hard when you're rambling on. So I was looking at something on Facebook the other day, and it was talking about avoidance and that being a symptom of PTSD, and I'm like, that literally is what we do every day. We don't want to go to a doctor. We don't want to go to a hospital. We know within 5 to 10 years he's supposed to have another heart surgery. Well, it's already been 2, which is crazy, but it's just, that's always in the back of our mind. And because of what happened so fast and, out of nowhere, that's what I constantly think about. And I don't know, I feel like it was just so traumatic, and we don't want to deal with it again, but we know we have to. It's like, ever since the hospital happened, I've kind of lived in a pilot mode, or autopilot, or whatever you call it, of just living day by day and just seeing what happens and taking it day by day. And that's how 2 years has flew by without me even realizing it, I guess. But I know that I'm not the one that actually went through the surgeries and went through all of that, but at the same time, I was there and had to watch it, and it being a loved one of 13 years marriage, and then I had to make every single life or death medical decision. That was really hard on me. And I do know for a fact that he has depression. He was diagnosed at the hospital and takes medication, and he's still dealing with the depression, even though, people probably think, well, you should be happy that you're alive. He's still dealing with everything that happened, having all the scars and, all of that. So for him, I definitely understand why. But I don't know if it's actually if living through that could give you PTSD. I don't want people to think that people that actually have it or whatever, I don't want them to get mad at me for saying it, because I don't know. So I'm just wondering if that's a possibility. I don't know how you get diagnosed with it or anything, but I was thinking, I don't even honestly know if a medicine would help, because we know in the future that we are going to have to deal with this situation again. And so it's how is medicine going to help that when, you know what I mean? But I just feel like I live every day in anxiety. Anytime he comes up to me and says that this or this hurts, or feel that, you know, like anytime it's something medical, I instantly just like clam up, like instantly. I get defensive, like I don't even want to hear about this stuff because I'm just so scared that we're gonna have to live through it again. Um, I was saying the other day, I was at Starbucks and I was in the drive-thru, and just the smell of like the Starbucks came out, and it instantly took me back to the hospital because there was a Starbucks there, and it made me think of, you know, getting a coffee there every day and being at the hospital. Um, but anyway, so I don't know. I just wanted to kind of talk about what you deal with after something like that happens. And I was thinking, you know, people probably are like, well, you should just be happy that he's alive and, you know, he survived through all that, and he should be happy he survived, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, of course, you're happy that, you know, you survived and stuff and we have more time with them. But at the same time, you think about the things in the back of your head of living through it again, and it's just scary to think about, and dealing with that situation again, and the kids dealing with it, and I don't know, it's just a lot. But I don't know too much about PTSD and things like that. So I know I was diagnosed with major depression disorder when I was like 17 or ish. And I think that had a lot to do with like my living situation with my parents and stuff. So I took some antidepressant medication on and off throughout my life, but I'm currently not. So I don't know if something like that would help or not. But I am wanting to learn more about PTSD and see if that could be a possibility, because I feel like we definitely have the avoidance symptom. And that's the only one I really know for sure is a symptom. I'll have to do more research on it. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about this while it was on my mind. So I'm trying to think if I forget anything. I don't know. I guess I just wanted to see if anyone has any information or opinions or suggestions on, you know, if you've been through the same situation medical-wise, or have a family member that has, or know more about PTSD and can let me know. I don't know. I guess it helps just to talk about it, but I don't have really anybody to talk to about things like this. We moved to Pennsylvania a year ago now, and so he's away from all of his family, and I have my mom and dad, which they're not really around that much, and then I have some family an hour away in Maryland. But I mean, literally all I do right now is work. I work full-time at a factory, and then I'm doing a side job on my days off, and so I'm constantly working, which I guess makes the time fly by as well. But I don't know. I just feel like in the situation, you know, like you're hoping and praying that everything gets better, and then you don't really think about what's going to happen afterwards in that situation. So like if I looked back and was at the hospital, and, you know, and I wouldn't have never thought about what's going to happen afterwards, and mentally and stuff. Like, it's so hard to deal with, just thinking constantly of watching him go downhill so fast the first time. Just makes it that much more scary, because you know that in an instant it can change. And like I was saying, when I was at the hospital and having to make those life and death decisions, for example, after they did the heart valve, they wanted to put him on a blood thinner so that he wouldn't clot. Well, he had also had strokes and some bleeding in the brain, and they said this could make him hemorrhage. And so it's like those split-second decisions could mean life or death, and that's the things I had to do for 2 straight months. And so I think that also has a role in, you know, my anxiety and stuff, because I know, again, at some point I'm going to have to maybe make those type of decisions again, and it's like a lot of pressure. So I don't know. I don't want to just ramble on, but let me know what you guys think, if you have any suggestions or anything. And I'm going to make another video in a little while about the side job that I'm doing, But thank you guys for watching, and feel free to comment, or my email's on there. I'd be happy to talk with you, and hope you guys have a great night.